I'm all right. I put a couple extra years on me. I feel like I put a couple extra years on my face over the past year of pushing myself in streaming, but I think I still got a nice youthful look to me. I like to think so. I don't think about it that hard, I'll be honest. It's not the same without the villagers being mean. Bring back mean villagers. All right, so we want to go back to May 31st. And 7 p.m. is fine because he keeps the raffle open all day, right? All right. Yeah, 2025. Let's go. So we're going back in time. I don't do a ton of time traveling, but I didn't do my raffle this month. And at the end of every month in Animal Crossing GameCube, Tom Nook holds a raffle. And we are going to go participate in that raffle since I didn't do it on stream like I wanted to on a Sunday, I think. Or it would have been Saturday, maybe. And then we're just going to slowly time travel back. Like we might not even have to. We could just play on this day if we really wanted. All right, so I filled up my letters. I accidentally filled up my letters and I can't get mail. Like, what did I do to myself? All right, let's go to the post office and let's go save some of these letters. All right, and let's check and see, did we get any new villagers? I'm still trying to play Fantasy Life. My fingers want to play Fantasy Life. Velma! Our 15th villager is Velma the goat. And not goat the way the kids use it. Like she's an actual goat. Okay, so that's our 15th villager. So villagers are going to start leaving now. Villagers will start leaving from here on out. This is a little scary. Oh my gosh, we got Stanky Phyllis. I just noticed. All right, I'm just gonna put these in here and we'll organize them later. All right, and then let me mail a letter. No, we didn't do the Nookle today, no. We haven't Nookled in about a week and a half because I wasn't playing AC. Bam, 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 bam. The stankiest gal in all the land. Here she is. That stank. Right? That stank. P.U., dude. Wait for it. Here it comes. For all the headphones users out there, you're really getting the experience if you're wearing headphones. You're really getting it. All right? If you're not wearing headphones, you know, maybe you turn up your TV so you can rattle your tables. Here it comes. Ready for it? That's that stank. P.U., dude. P.U., dude. What is that? Oh, man. It singes the nostrils. Ugh. That's that stanko, dude. I felt that in my throat glands. P.U., dude. I am getting a Switch too. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I'm trying to get one for release day, My current one is being delivered on the 6th, but I'm trying to get one for release day as well. So we got, what's the button that lets me pull this stuff out of the letters faster? There we go. So that's the plan. We're trying to get one a little bit earlier than my currently scheduled one because I'd like to play on release day. And I don't know when it's gonna come in the mail on the 6th. So like technically I could be waiting until the 7th to play, which that bites. So I'm actually I'm going out tomorrow on an adventure and I'm gonna be waiting in line potentially for about 4 hours. And I'm gonna try to get my hands on, dude, what a good amount of money. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get my hands on one. What store are you waiting in line at? GameStop. Because GameStop is doing this pre-order thing. GameStop is doing this pre-order thing where they're letting people show up at 3 p.m. to get a pre-order, but you can only show up in person. And you have a chance to get a pre-order at 3 p.m. And people are going to be lining up for this. So the pre-order would be at 3 p.m. for the actual release that's at midnight, just a little bit later. So it's like a last hoorah, a last ditch effort, a last chance for you to get your hands on a Switch if you haven't already got one. Now, also also Best Buy and Target and Walmart have all confirmed that they're going to have more in stock on the release day. So you could always just go take a risk and try to stand in line at one of those stores and try to just get one. I heard that Best Buy is going to only be letting people in like a couple at a time. Right? So like there's like a whole thing going on with that. Whereas I'm going to go for the GameStop. I think GameStop's the play. I don't know if I want to go waiting around at the crack of dawn. You know what I mean? Like, so, because I'm taking the day off for this tomorrow, so I'm hoping it works out. I'm hoping I can get my hands on one. We'll have to see. I'm going to wait and see what everyone thinks before I buy it. What's up, Hunter? Welcome back in here. All right, let's go. Oh, frick. No Nintendo system? Just some bogus... What is this gnome? Just some stupid looking gnome and a stereo that I could probably get from Tom Nook's? Probably not, actually. All right, let's see what we can win. If I get the stupid gnome, man, I don't want the gnome. The Switch 2 technically releases at midnight on the 5th. So tomorrow at midnight. I was also considering GameStop, but I was going to go about an hour before 3 p.m. Yeah, I'm going at noon. So I called my GameStop, Hunter, and my GameStop said 1 or 2 hours early should be enough before 3 p.m. And then I replied, I'm thinking about showing up at noon. What do you think about that? And the rep said, you should honestly be fine. The truth is like, oh, we won. Third prize, the stereo, nice. So yeah, so I think you're also thinking the same way-ish, right? Like maybe a couple hours will be enough. I don't know, because I've heard reports of people already waiting in line at like Targets. I've heard that there are people out there already camping out for this. So I'm like, are people really not going to be waiting? It's like, I don't know, man. So what I'm doing is I'm showing up tomorrow at 8 a.m. and I'm going to case the place. I'm going to case it. I'm going to drive by and see if there's people waiting outside the GameStop. And if there's not, I think I'm good to just show up at like noon. And if there is, then I might just straight up sit there at 8 a.m. and my whole day, like, I don't even know what to do at that point. Yeah, but I think I'm gonna case the place and see, like, are people, because I don't know, man. It is all depending on your neighborhood, and it all depends on your GameStop, right? Like, some GameStops could be really busy, some could be not at all. I heard stories of the 2 months ago where GameStop did in-person pre-orders. I heard stories of only 5 people showing up in line at some GameStops. People in chat were like, yeah, there was like nobody there. It was easy. And then I heard stories of other GameStops with a line of 50 people. So it is really hard to gauge what to do. I think if you drive, you should do what I'm gonna do, and you should drive by around like 9, maybe like noon. That's my opinion. My opinion is you should case the place. If it's not too far, you should drive by a couple hours before, see what's going on, and then come back. I think that's the best bet. Would they let you wait inside the store because it's 95 degrees at noon? Dude, I know, right? So my store out here doesn't even open until noon. Right? And it's a pretty big store. So I think they might let you wait inside and maybe give us like a ticket or something. Like, that would be really nice. I don't know, but I'm going to be bringing a book bag with a lot of water. If I end up waiting in line, I'm going to be bringing a book bag with snacks and water because it's going to be hot. It'll be like 80 plus here tomorrow. Not 90, but like 80 here. Dang it. All we got was one gift, but at least we didn't get the stupid gnome. We're going home with a bump-in stereo. We're going home with a bump-in stereo and no music for it. Is it Saturday in game? Wait a second. It's Saturday in game. In theory, we could listen to KK Slider. Bring your Switch 1 to play in line. Yeah. Yeah, we could listen to KK Slider and we could get our first song tonight. So yeah, that's all the knowledge I got for you, Hunter. I know this is tough, but I figured I'd at least give you all the knowledge I have. Honestly, if your GameStop opens up early enough, I would maybe even call and ask them. Right, like I said, mine doesn't open until noon, but you might be able to get away with, like, you know what I mean? Like, if yours opens at 9 or 10, you might just be able to call and be like, yo, are there people outside? You know, can we come wait there, right? Like, I would maybe just call at 11. Just be like, do you have people already waiting? Like, what's the sitch, you know? If you're going to start a new ACNH island, then it won't get to see if the game takes advantage of the Switch 2 load times, multiplayer lag, etc. Sure we would. Just... on the 2nd. On Tuesday, the 9th or something. Sure, what do you mean? You know, just on Tuesday. You see my brain starting to fall out of my ears because it's late? Sure, just not right away. A man of a million missions. Because I don't plan to start the island until... till the following Monday. Alright, I'm gonna time travel though, because I don't want to wait for KK Slider. So we're doing all sorts of TTing today. I can promise you that they like when you call and talk to them about it. Is that sarcasm? Even if the employees don't, the managers definitely prefer it. Oh, wow. Okay, I see what, so that's not sarcasm. Because it would have been funny if, like, you were saying, like, oh yeah, employees love it. Like, and you're right, they don't. But the managers do, for sure, yeah. I'm like, I don't know if I've ever met a GameStop employee that actually likes their job. Anybody else? Like, I don't think I've ever met a GameStop employee in my life that actually likes working at GameStop. So, like, yeah, like, I don't even know about that one. But the people in charge, right? Yeah. My cousin worked there. It's a terrible job. Yeah, I've heard that it's actually just a bad job. Like, you would think being able to work at a gaming store would be cool, but like they just like force you to shill the whole time, and you have a bunch of quotas to meet for like offering people subscriptions, and I've just heard it kind of sucks. It's retail, so of course not. Yeah. What's with the Animal Crossing Deluxe? Yo, you're good, Ambi. So Animal Crossing Deluxe is a fan-made edition of Animal Crossing that takes all of the different versions of Animal Crossing out there and combines them into one. That's the main mission. So if you don't know this game, all right? If you don't know, this game has actually 5 versions total. 64, Japanese GameCube, American GameCube, Japanese GameCube again, and the Chinese IQ version. So the first thing that this mod accomplishes and attempts to accomplish is it takes all of those versions and puts it into one deluxe edition, the definitive way to play Animal Crossing GameCube. Otherwise, its goal is to add a bunch of quality of life improvements, as well as even adding content from all the way up into Wild World and New Leaf. I think there's plans to bring villagers from the later games in. There's already been wallpapers and floorings added from Wild World. So there's a lot of really interesting things happening, and this is all fan-made, and it's really cool stuff, man. It's really, really cool stuff. I do have an unlisted YouTube video. If you want, I can help you set it up, but otherwise, go to that link, try to set it up yourself, and if you need any help, I have an unlisted YouTube video that's like a nice, like, short, like, quick guide to setting this game up. And I can share it with anybody, just let me know. Me, mommy, mommy, me, me. This is actually a good first song. I was gonna request, but I was like, no. This is KK Ska, right? Yeah. Because KK Ska live sounds really weird. Working at GameStop in 2025 with the Pokemon card craze. Now you do bring up a good point though, Des. I didn't think of that. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because like I wouldn't want to transfer my island to the Switch 2 and then back to the Switch 1. So you guys might have to wait for the Switch 2 performance until the Monday and Tuesday, because I'll probably play Monday and Tuesday. Yeah. What's up, Duel Master? So my partner and I both have extra original Switches, like the OG black and gray, and I was talking to them about how we could go trade them in and go on a retro game excursion. And we're toying with it. We're toying with the idea of like selling those bad boys off. Because like we both have 2 Switch 1s. And we could go take them to the store, sell them. And we would get like anywhere between like $200 to $250 probably of store credit. And then we could go and just like get ourselves a couple retro games that we want in our collection. Yeah, the only thing stopping me is the modding journey, but at the same time, I don't even know how much fun it would be to mod it now that the Switch 2's out anyways. That was kind of my logic. I was like, well, do I want to bother? Like, we could just sell them. Yeah, I was like, actually, it doesn't really matter anymore. Switch 2's here. All right, nice, we got our song. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I wasn't planning on using the system transfer because I heard that Animal Crossing is a part of the system transfer now. For the Switch 2 specifically. I know in the past, it's always been that you had to use a separate tool. But I read that Pokemon and Animal Crossing are both gonna transfer by just using the system transfer. You're not gonna have to use the special tool or whatever. So because of that fact, I was not going to system transfer to the Switch 2 because I didn't want my Animal Crossing island to be transferred over. That's the only thing. It's like, so what I'm hoping is that they'll let you choose. I'm hoping that they'll let you choose, like, I want this data, but I don't want this data. So I'm not really sure. I'm between a rock and a hard place because I also want my Tears of the Kingdom save files. So the thing is, though, is a lot of stuff is on the cloud and I pay for Nintendo Switch Online. So part of me is like, couldn't I, in theory, just load up the Switch 2? Right? And just play most of my games, the save files, just re-download the save files via the cloud. So I think the only games I'm gonna be struggling with is Pokemon. You hit the nail on the head. Pokemon is the only games that I'm like, I might be screwed. Whereas, like, I think everything else is gonna be fine because, like, I pay for the cloud. I think I'm good to just use the cloud. That's my question. Yeah, you're better off doing a fresh install and just manually downloading the save files. Right, that's exactly what I would like to do. Is maybe just, if there's some way to manually transfer them or whatever, I would just do that. I'm okay with taking my time. Oh, we got lightning bugs, dude. Oh, yeah. So don't these end in May? I think these might end in May, actually. Is there a reason why you want to keep your island on Switch 1? So yeah, because I was going to start a new island on Switch 2. That's the only reason. I was honestly thinking about retiring Gale Island actually for officially this time. I know we retired it for about a year and I told people I deleted it and I debated everyone and I brought it back because I'm a big baby. But that's beside the point. I was thinking about actually retiring Gale Island, leaving it on the Switch 1 so I could load it up anytime I want in my free time, but starting a brand new experience on the Switch 2 because we clearly are waiting for a new Animal Crossing. And what better reason to play a new island than for Nintendo to announce a brand new Animal Crossing game after I get 6 months deep into a new island? I'm gonna be the reason they announce a new game because they're gonna let me just get all comfortable playing ACNH again, and then they're gonna be like, boom. Good evening to you. Tell me, do I know you? As expected, I am Velma. It's a pleasure to meet you. Look at Mr. Main Character over here. You gonna abandon Tangy in the forest? Yeah, I'm thinking about abandoning Tangy in the forest. Yes. Because, dude, I do have more in the tank when it comes to island decoration, but I didn't feel the need to keep iterating on my island. It feels pretty good. I am kind of a fan of like small little iterations, but I'm at the point now where I'm only really into doing small iterations. Whereas I think it would actually be a really fun journey to start a new island and kind of get that start from scratch feeling that I've personally never got. I've personally never got that feeling because I've never done more than just side islands. That's the thing. I've only ever gotten side islands. I've only ever done the hide and seek island, you know, temporary restarts, but I've never fully restarted the game. And I think it might be kind of cool to do that, to fully restart the game. I think it could be really neat. And we could build a new town. We could do something new. I could step away from my mountain forest village and we could try something different. So this is kind of the logic behind a new island. And we could jam out and play a new island on New Horizons until the new game comes out. Right? Have you considered moving your character? Wait, could I actually move my character? Wait, I actually would do that. I could move my character. Ooh, what's up? How you doing today, Dudek? That actually sounds kind of cool. I could move my character to a new town and Wigwam could take over the island, all hell would break loose. You skipped my comment 2 times. Oh, well, the truth is that I've been streaming for 11 and a half hours and I just accidentally missed your comment. But I'm not going to go back and read them because you're being very demanding. So, sorry, but you lost me. And just to kind of push my point home a little bit, the timestamps. So the first one was 3 minutes ago. Okay, fair. But the last one was literally just a minute ago. So you got to give me a little bit more time than that to keep up on messages, all right? Don't just come in here and demand my attention. So, sorry, but I'm good. We'll see you later. I'm not going to ban you or anything. Enjoy the show. But yeah, you don't do that to me. Sorry. Do you really think you'll get 200, 250 for your old Switch? So I was talking about selling 2 old Switches. That's why I said 250. Because my partner and I both have an old Switch. And if we sold both of them at the same time, then we could probably get about 250. Yeah, you're not getting $250 for a single Switch. No way. Yeah, not even close. Oh, your island representative can't be moved? Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah. We were talking about selling 2. We'd maybe get 250. 200, 250, maybe. If you were to sell them both. I'm thinking that's a maybe. That's a big maybe, though. I don't think it would be 300, not even close. Restarting New Horizons now that all the updates are out is definitely an experience. Yeah, you know, I think it could be really cool. So we'll see what I end up doing. It could just be another fling island. You know, it's hard for me to separate from Gale. But it could be fun. It'd be fun, man. Speaking of Teggy. Hey, watch it, Speedy! If I didn't have, like, lightning quick reflexes, I would have wailed into you. Say, huh? Craziness. Why, it's Hylian. Be more careful from now on, okay? Did you want something? Yeah, did you need a favor or what's going on? I came from far away to sell you a carpet. You give me money, I give you a carpet. This is a very special carpet. You like it? You want this carpet? I'll buy it. You fell for it. You thought I was Sahara, didn't you? I'll take your 3,000 bells. Scammer. Humans in Animal Crossing looked so creepy back then. I know, right? You talking about this guy? Look at him. My character looks like a fucking clown. Bozo the clown running around town. Yeah. Yo, what's up, Quay, by the way? I'm gonna light a candle to manifest the new AC announcement in 6 months. I think they could announce something. I think they could officially announce something for sure. Whoa. Calm down. I'm trying to get my money rocked, dude. What's up, Tad? Yo, evening. That face can only belong to old Hylian, right? Slurp. Yep, it's you after all. My instincts are the greatest in the entire universe. Yeah. Hey, so what can I do for you? Talk about main character. I never used to believe in fortune telling, but something changed my mind. I went to see a fortune teller named Katrina the other day. I can't explain it, but something weird always happens after her readings. So nice. That means we have Katrina showing up in 2 days. So that's 2 days in game though. So that means that if I want to meet Katrina, I need to time travel to June 2nd. If I want to do that. All right, let's see if we can get a job here. I'd offload my old one. Tough but fair. Listen, man, you know, I gotta draw a line somewhere. We do a lot of retro crossing here. Yeah, welcome to my show. This is not my normal streaming time slot though. So if you're on Twitch at this time, I don't do a ton of streaming during this time slot, but we've been doing a segment. We were doing a segment for a while where we were playing Animal Crossing Wild World on Saturday nights, and I like to do a little bit of casual Animal Crossing at nighttime. But this is usually normally a morning game for me. But if you are new to my channel and you like Animal Crossing and you're interested in the older games, we're definitely vibing here on this channel playing these old games pretty often. Oof, oof. So wait, we can grow. Can't we grow? No, this is too low. We cannot get a golden pine tree this low on the map. Dang. All right, let's go ahead and just get a regular golden tree then. Yeah, I think so. I think there's something AC related coming. My prediction... I keep accidentally sitting on these rocks. My prediction is that we are going to see something potentially during this next Nintendo Direct. Because they're going to want to maybe try to sell Switches to people who are not convinced to buy one yet. And what better game to convince people to buy a Switch than all of the Animal Crossing community? Right? Like, what better game than that, right? So I think there is a chance we do finally see something Animal Crossing related, but it would be for 2026. Like, it would be for the future. They might not even give us a release date. It might just straight up say 2026. Pure, like Animal Crossing 2026, right? And like, that's it. If we see anything, it's going to be it's not going to be anything else. They might not even show any gameplay. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking like they might not even show any gameplay. They might literally show a title drop and just say Animal Crossing 2026. Boom. Right? Because like that, like they've done that before. Like, they might not give us much. Right? So like, I think there's a chance that that happens. I think otherwise, we might be waiting to hear about it until like the end of the year. Because you assume they're going to do another Direct maybe around Christmas, October, September. So if they do one in June, they might do another later in the year. Otherwise, we might not hear about it until next year, which bites. I do not need a bridge here. Nah, Tortimer. Nah, this is not where we want the bridge, dude. You better move over here or down here, you old fart. Yeah, so that's my predictions, but I think it's coming. But like I said, I think there's a really good chance that they don't do anything at all. Because if they don't have enough ready to show us, they just might not bother. Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see, but it just all depends on what they're trying to sell first, right? Because like Nintendo doesn't like to cannibalize their content, so like I think there's a chance that instead it's like Mario or Zelda. Like, they're not going to necessarily announce everything. They're going to just announce a couple things to kind of keep fans guessing, and AC might not be on the list. I think it also could be on the list. Because I think Zelda's and Mario also sell consoles. So if they were to announce a 3D Mario for this year or next year, and a 3D Zelda for this year or next year or in the future, that might be enough to get people to buy Switches as well. So I think we have to just see, like, there's multiple directions they could go. At this very moment in time, they have a lot of options. But the more time goes on, I think those options start to get more and more limited, and then AC becomes more and more of a priority. But because the Switch 2 is brand new, I think we are still in a phase where, like, we might not hear anything about a new Animal Crossing for a couple years, which sucks. Like, they don't necessarily, you know what I mean? They have a lot of games to give us. AC could just not be on the docket yet, right? In my heart, I don't feel that way. I really don't. And it's not me just copying them out. It's not me just hoping. I feel like 5 years is a long time. And like releasing a new Animal Crossing by the end of 2026 would be almost 7 years. That's a long time, right? Like that, they could really have something cooking by now. The first Animal Crossing game actually had a village, and we're just there without our help, correct? Yeah. So the first Animal Crossing story, the last real 3D Mario game was Odyssey. So we're talking, what, 2017? 18? Is that what it, that's insane, right? Like, that's got to be the next big title they announced at this Direct. Yeah, it's got to be. To go back to answer that question, though, so that the story of this game is that you are just moving out of home for the first time in your life, and you just so happen to move into this town, and it's just a town full of animals. But like, you're not the island owner, you're not the mayor, you're not some special person. You are literally just a person who moves into this neighborhood. And that's what makes this game so special, because the actual original developers of this game talked about the feeling they were trying to invoke with this game. And what they said was, they wanted you to feel, they wanted to capture the feeling of moving to a new city, moving to a new place, and not knowing anybody around you. That feeling of kind of being misplaced, lost. You move out of home for the first time. You don't know anybody in the city you're living in. That feeling of going on an adventure and going away from home for the first time. That's what this game was designed to like capture, that feeling. That's what the original developer said in an interview quite a long ago. I think it was a Japanese interview that was translated. So like, yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, they were going for a certain feeling in this game. They weren't trying, you know, you weren't the mayor. You weren't anything but just a regular person living in this town. And it's so neat because they do such a good job capturing that. I couldn't agree more. They capture it perfectly. They also, this game came to fruition because of technology that never ended up becoming a thing. But one of the main reasons this game even exists is because of the DD drive, the Nintendo 64 DD drive. It was like this whole thing. Whatever, it barely even exists. However, the technology of the DD drive had like a clock and stuff. And they saw this technology and they wanted to take advantage of it. So they set out to make a game that took advantage of like this real-time clock and this technology with the 64. And that's where Animal Crossing truly began. So the old tale goes that Animal Crossing would never even exist if it wasn't for this failed piece of hardware that never even came to fruition at all. All because they had this hardware and they had this grand vision for this hardware and they wanted to make games for it. And one of the features of the hardware was that it could keep a clock. It had a clock built in and it could keep real time. And they thought of all these kooky games that could take advantage of this time, of this clock. So some of the stories you hear from like interviews and stuff was that Animal Crossing was just a product of trying to make a super unique experience that took advantage of this technology. And here we are in 2025 and like we have this game that we're still playing. It's like so cool. Didn't the OG N64 use a clock on the cart? Yeah, yes, but that was after they had already moved on from the DD drive. They figured out how to put a battery into the 64 cart. Yes. Exactly. So like they originally were using this other technology, and then because the DD drive failed or died, but they still wanted to make Animal Crossing, they figured out how to just put a battery in the cartridge, and they sold the cartridge with the battery instead of the... So I think the original DD drive held the clock on the system, and I think that's the difference. That was the difference. Was I think the system itself managed all of that stuff, like maybe almost like a GameCube, right? Whereas when they went to the 64, they were like, okay, well, how can we still make this work? And then they ended up just adding a battery, just like the game, exactly, just like Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. But that wasn't the original thought or plan, because again, it was all about this new technology. So they had, at that point in time, there was no N64 games with batteries in them. So I guess that's not why some of these concepts came along for the 64 original, right? So it's like, yeah, just like they didn't really think about that, I'm assuming, until after they had to think about it. And they were like, well, we don't want to waste this game that we developed. Well, how can we make it work? And then they figured out the battery thing. I think that's like an assumption of mine, but I think that's kind of like how and why it all happened the way it did. Yeah, pretty cool. There's a whole Did You Know Gaming video that goes through it pretty in depth and approaches it pretty healthily. It's like a pretty nice conversation. And they do some like translating of some Japanese interviews, and they go into like some detail about how some other games that the DD drive was trying to accomplish, and it's pretty cool stuff. But yeah, Animal Crossing is such an iconic game because like the whole concept of this game was to be unique and different and unlike anything else out there. And still to this day, you have to admit, there's not a single video game that is like Animal Crossing. Not like... There's similar games, but like in all reality, the feeling of Animal Crossing has like never really been captured perfectly. I think some companies have tried, and maybe some have even gotten close, but like, in my opinion, AC is pretty solidly still one of the most unique games out there. So I don't know how they managed to do that 20 years later, but somehow this game is still like one of the cutest games ever. Yeah, it's just so interesting how that all worked out. Now, I'm sure there's not a ton of companies out there that are like attempting to make another Animal Crossing. There wasn't until New Horizons anyways. So I'm convinced that we might see a spiritual successor to like this game right here one day. One day we might see a spiritual successor to this game, because now that Animal Crossing has gotten popular, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some developer out there that grew up on these games just like us that would be willing to put the effort in to make a game that feels and plays like this. I bet you it's out there. I bet you it could happen in the next couple of years, because like it's been 5 years since New Horizons struck gold, right? You figure maybe 2 years after that, somebody was maybe like, I want to make this again. So I don't know. I think the indie market is totally ripe for this type of game to come out. I think it would be really cool. What if we just don't get another AC because they can't figure out how to build on New Horizons? That's a very Nintendo option. Yeah, that's a scary but true option. Because that's the thing you got to realize is like, that's why it could take a decade to get another Animal Crossing. That's why it really could take years. Because if Nintendo can't figure out a way to innovate past New Horizons, if anything, we might finally get that 3.0 patch in a year or two, and then they'll just continue to move on. You know what I mean? Because like that is a Nintendo thing to do. Like if they don't feel like they can add to the pot or mix it up enough, they'll just say like, well, go play that game. And with the Switch 2 being backwards compatible, it's not like they necessarily have to make a new game. That's the scary part about backwards compatibility. You know what I mean? Like, backwards compatibility allows them to say, actually, do we really need to make another one of those games? And we could maybe just remarket it. We could maybe just give it another update. Yeah, you know, so yeah, I think backwards compatibility can be scary like that, for sure. Won't they pivot like they do with Zelda? So that, yeah, Animal Crossing games have been big with pivoting. Right, Animal Crossing GameCube was nothing like Wild World. Wild World was nothing like City Folk, even though they had some similarities. City Folk was nothing like New Leaf. And New Horizons was a complete series reset. Pivots! Yeah. So, like, the truth is you're 100% right, Sam. Like, the Nintendo, all of these games have been very unique to one another. Similar vibes, just like Zelda, but just unique to each other. So, yes, like, the play would... And that's why I've told people, I think the next Animal Crossing is going to be nothing like the current one. Some people didn't like hearing that because it's their first AC, right? It's their first AC, and they're like, dude, I want more New Horizons. But part of me feels like the next Animal Crossing could literally just be nothing like New Horizons. And like, one of the ways that they could change it, and here's the big one, just completely gut terraforming and then move towards another main system. That's the big, but I don't know what they would do to replace terraforming. But I think the next AC game is just going to gut terraforming. And you want to know what I really think? I've thought about this a lot. One of the directions I think they could go towards is they could go closer to the Tamagotchi or whatever games, where it's all about the socializing. There's that game on the DS where you're like in an apartment building. This is what I think of every time. It's a DS game where you're in an apartment building and you have to like appeal to all of these different people who are moving into the apartment building. It's one of the Tamagotchi or Tamagotchi games. I think it's the game that everyone was waiting for, and they just announced Tamagotchi Life. I think it's the one before that. That's what I picture. I picture one of the avenues they could go is like, they could go into this very social side of it, where the whole game is focused on you talking and interacting with the villagers, and it's less focused on decorating. Again, I don't exactly know how they would implement this and make it like a fun gameplay loop, but I never played Tamagotchi, whatever it was called, for the 3DS. Now, another direction they could go in is Hello Kitty Island Adventure, where they give us a massive map to explore, and we have to collect resources, and we have to craft, and we decorate, and we have villagers, and they just go full in on like that game style. So like, that's another direction. What? Did she just talk to me when I walked by? Yo, thank you, Profon Pearl, for the first time sub. What the heck? Did she just talk to me when I walked by? What? What was that? Right? So like, I don't know. There's a lot. If we sit and we chat, I bet you we could sit here and think about all sorts of like interesting directions they could go. Like, what if it's similar to New Horizons, but instead of Nook Miles Islands, they have a big open zone map for us to explore? So you have a town or you have a village, right? And then you leave the village and town. You leave and you go to a Nook Miles Island, but in this case, the island is a massive adventure map. and you can run around with your friends or by yourself, collecting resources, finding villagers in the wild, inviting them to move in, so on and so forth. Right, like a big open world, open zone map, similar to like Ginormosia or similar to Hello Kitty Island Adventure. I think that's a very logical way that they could go and expand on the series, because people love Hello Kitty because Hello Kitty gives you a sense of adventure, but also Animal Crossing. And I think, like, what better way to take Animal Crossing, what better direction than in the direction of adventure? Now that could be a way to iterate on AC. Animal Crossing has never really had adventure. It's been everything but an adventure in all reality. And like, that could be the direction, you know, like some subtle adventure. And again, like, Hello Kitty has proven to me that adventure doesn't need to involve combat. That's the key. Adventure does not need to involve combat. There's not a single bit of combat in Hello Kitty Island Adventure, but that game feels pretty adventurous. Running around the map feels good. Exploring feels good. And I'm like, how could they maybe make that experience, right? Like, they could totally do that. So again, and I could sit here and I could just probably drop idea after idea, right? And one of my favorite ideas is that I want to go to the city and I want to become a manager of like property, like Sim City. And I want to build a city of villagers. And instead of it being like this, where it's like cute and interactive, you can go and look at the game like this and walk around and talk to villagers, but the main focus of the game is like a city builder. And you're like, you put down houses and then you move villagers in and then you make sure their needs are met and you make money and you like go around. It's like a city builder kind of vibe, but Animal Crossing, right? Like, that would be like super sick. Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. Ocean space travel with Gulliver. Go to different destinations from the airport without going to your island. Yeah. I think space is totally the play though. We've joked about that a lot in the chat, but I seriously think that Animal Crossing Frontiers is the next play. Frontiers. They go to space, they give us a planet, and they let us terraform the planet into anything we want, like Happy Home Paradise. So Tom Nook's like, here's a blank planet, make it whatever you want. And you're like, I want it to be a desert, so you turn it into a desert. I want it to be a forest, an autumn forest, you turn it into an autumn forest. And you can just turn this blank, like, moon, essentially, into anything you want. You can just, they basically blend Happy Home Paradise into the full game. And you just start off and you're like, okay, I want to build a city on this moon. And then you just build. I think space loses the cozy town vibe though. True. And that probably is a vibe that they would want to keep to some extent, right? Yeah. We own a planet, that would be sick. We would never own anything, Sleepy Cat Loaf. We would be loaned a planet with low interest rates from Tom Nook. Please, don't get ahead of yourself. Please. Tom Nook would be involved. Come on now. All right. We're out of here, fam. Thank you so much for coming out. Like I said, I don't want to go past the 12-hour mark, even though I could, because I don't want to have to end the YouTube video and restart it. So just a little bit of AC tonight to wrap things up. I'll be back here on Thursday with a Switch or with not a Switch, without a Switch. Words. Either way, I will be here Thursday, 8 a.m. to either get super hype with all of you or get hype while I'm playing games with all of you. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'll be posting updates in the Discord, all right? I'll be posting updates in the Discord. And maybe even some videos and stuff if things work out. Maybe I might be going to the release party at GameStop. There's supposed to be cosplay and trivia. Maybe I can win myself some sick loot or something. I know Nintendo, baby. Let them try to hit me with some questions. I'll slay it. All right, fam, I'm out of here, dude. Yo, holy heck, what a day today, man. What a beautiful broadcast. Thanks for tuning in. New Animal Crossers who tuned in. It was nice having you in the chat. Thank you for your patience. I know it's a little late. I know I wasn't keeping up with every message. I appreciate y'all. I hope everyone had a wonderful rest of their day today. I know it's getting late here in my world, and I hope you enjoyed the nice long stream. See you on the day of a new generation. A new generation! I like the sound of that. I like the sound of it, fam. Holy heck, man. I'm excited. I'm excited. Hopefully we can get a Switch 2 for release day. Hopefully we can make it happen. Yo, big shout outs to all our supporters, man. Profound Pearl, thank you again. And big shout out, super hype day. A lot of love in here today, and I really appreciate y'all. Whether you were just watching the stream and enjoying the broadcast, that is the ultimate form of support, or if you were able to go the next step and offer support in other ways. Regardless, you're appreciated, you're valued, and thank you. On that note, this is Highly in Descent signing off from another wonderful Hyro Gaming Group production. If I don't see y'all here on Thursday for the Switch 2 release, I'll see you when I see you, fam. It's gonna be a hype week. We got gaming shows all weekend long. So tune in, even if you're not getting too hype about the Switch 2. We'll be here doing the thing and doing it well. Regardless, if I don't see you, I'll see you when I see you, fam. Don't forget to game on. And of course, as always, peace. Wrap it up and on to the next episode. Peace. All right. JR Prisma Bender, Teeny Giraffe, Kita Bonita, Ash 370, Mike 84, Sam's Lost Shoe, Pastel Gongju, Dat Baby, Tay Ray, Perpetrator Ryan, Perpetrator Tam, Alith, Keisha, Happy Pride Month, Doomed, Pepper, and Spice. Shout out to the Fantasy Life squad. We played so much Fantasy Life. I might not even play any after the stream. That's how much we played. That's how much we played. Can you believe it, fam? Yo, I love y'all and appreciate y'all. Honored to be a part of your daily routines. Absolutely honored to have you as a part of mine. It's mutual. But until next time, this is Highly in Descent, signing off. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. And until next time, peace. And hit them cat jams, baby. Peace.